So Felicien cleared PgMP. Mr. Sami, why don't you start it? How he did it? What were the things? Please take the stage.
First of all, congratulations to Mr. Felician for such a hard work in a shortest possible time. So
Thank
we
you.
started his journey. He is our student from batch 9, which officially started on 4th of October, and he cleared the exam on 30th of November. But the good thing was that he joined our batch earlier. So I had the first class with him on 2nd of September. So in this 1 month prior, we started our official classes. He had already finished all our videos. He had already finished his chapter-wise questions, and he was really passionate to have it done as early as possible. And then in mid of October, he said that Mr. Sami, I just need to book the exam so that I'm much more focused. And then we book his exam, and then we targeted 30th of November. So very well done, Mr. Felician. Now please share your experience, how it was, how was your journey, what was your motivation, and later on we will go to the exam later on. First, let us have your experience with us.
So thank you so much, Mr. Sami and Mr. Amir. Thank you ever so much. So basically, I just needed to gain a better understanding of the concepts. And then, as Mr. Amir mentioned, I think on LinkedIn, I was looking for a simulator to get extra practices for the notion that I wasn't very clear about. And then when I saw the simulator, I thought, oh, you had a program also, a course in court, in classes with some other aspirant. So I decided to join that program in order to improve on skills that I had in order to give myself more chances of passing the exam. And I have to say thank you for you give me more a roadmap from the moment I joined, chapter-wise questions, blue background question, green background question, and all that kind of got me to where I am today. So thank you ever so much for all your support.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Okay, now this is a very interesting thing I want to put in the context. I did write that same thing on the success journey. PGMP exam is becoming harder and harder, right? PGMP exam is becoming a little bit more challenging as we are moving forward. So this, first of all, I'm gonna go with Mr. Sami. Mr. Sami, what would you say about this thing regarding PGMP exam becoming more challenging as we are moving forward? What are your input on this thing?
I think that it is on one side is good that it will be still be a prestigious certification to do,
Mm,
and on the other side, if you see in a broader sense, now no mathematical questions are coming. For example, so it's a real indication that it's not 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 in the PGMP exam. You
okay.
really need to have the thorough understanding of the scenarios, of the concepts, and then you're able to give the exam. I think also in our real program life that we are doing on our daily basis, it's very important to have the complete environment, because you are working with multiple projects, multiple programs, multiple components under you. So for that thing, I think it is positive. But on the other side, uh, about understanding of the scenarios, it also requires your reporting skills. It also requires your communication skills. And then only once you are able to understand the scenario, you will be able to give the exam, correct
Hmm.
exam.
Only then you will be able to give the correct exam, and you need to put the context into that. Okay, now you are giving exam, we need to look into that. These are the important things that can help us into the context. Okay, Felician, let's come back to you about the exam. I am very much interested. I know you have already given the feedback to Mr. Sami, and I did look into that feedback also. So when we go into the exam day, what mindset is
Yes,
need,
sir.
uh, what difficulty of the question, you are or UK national, so English is not never a problem for you, and you give exam in Bahrain, right?
Correct. Yes.
Right. So how was the center? How did you manage time? What was the length of the question? So can
Yes.
you put some lights on that?
So, as you mentioned, as you know, I am on the east coast of Saudi Arabia, and then getting an exam center in the kingdom sometimes very difficult. So, it's either going to Riyadh, which is about 4 hours drives away, and then I decided to just go maybe by an hour east to Bahrain, and Mr. Sami had a roadmap, so I worked through the roadmap, a lot of practice questions, and I felt a bit more confident. But even until the last moment, I was reviewing a few things, and he had to remind me to kind of relax a bit and then be confident, no panic, and trust myself to work through the questions correctly. And then we had a call also, and then you said, if it gets a bit tough, just take a deep breath and keywords, and then you mentioned another question, another thing, uh, elimination technique. So that's one of the key that you gave me also on the call before the exam. So I went in the morning before the exam, crossed the bridge to Bahrain, got there by an hour early, sat down to relax, recollect my thought. And then when the center opened, I walked in, registered, and the exam started. Let's say, uh, like Mr. Sami mentioned previously, I didn't have any mathematical question, no percentages. It was just a lot of reading. Had two, three, four-liner questions, and then even the options down below at A, B, C, D, has some that had two, three questions, sentences. So there was a lot of reading. So I had basically to read mostly the question like two times, most of them. So for the 170 question, I had to read the question twice in order to understand. And then the options, I uh, kind of got lucky to be able to eliminate two wrong option and then work between the above target and the target answers options. And I didn't take any breaks. And then what else? The center was okay, a bit noisy. I had to put a headphone on my ears so that I could focus on the material that were in front of me. So I finished the questions just 5 minutes to time, and I had 20 questions flagged that I was reviewing when the time ran out. So all in all, it was a good experience. And basically, I would say the lack that I had was all the work that Mr. Sami prepared. The blue background question was so almost identical. There were quite a lot of questions that came from the blue background question. So because I had the keywords and then I remembered the practices that I did, it was easy to kind of pick the right answer and then moving on, especially when I was running out of time. So I tried to do half of the exam in 2 hours and then the other half in 2 hours. So that was the time that I set for myself.
Okay.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. And if you put the exam
Mhm.
into the context of a difficulty level, let's say one is very easy and
Mhm.
10 being very difficult, where would you rate the exam?
I wouldn't say it was easy. I would say it was within the practices that we had. I mean, the work that we've done in court, we've done over the coaching calls. So this work was highly, highly relevant. So personally, that what got me through. So I could see the keywords and then some of the option, the answers were close to what we had in our practices. So it was kind of a bit of a revision type of thing. But again, there was a lot of reading, and then it takes a lot of attention to figure out the um, the what they're trying to say in the question itself, and then try to eliminate the below target and then needing improvement target answers, and then choose the two that are left, so above target and target options.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
mhm,
Okay. Okay.
mhm.
Mr. Sami, please continue.
Yes, about the difficulty level is clear, but uh, because you are British national, how about the English formation in the questions? Was there anything that they have tried to put different pieces together, or it was very smooth and fluent English with no grammatical mistakes, no spelling mistakes, or even it is now difficult to understand that tone of the question?
Let's say, all in all, I spotted one, uh, I would say, grammatical mistake. But
Mhm.
other than that, there were a lot of, like I said, two, three, four-liner questions. And as for our preparation, I was going from the question itself and going the question first, and then the rest of the sentences above. So that took a lot of time to read those sentences above. The question itself was relatively just one or two sentences, but the options above were a bit demanding to read. So, like I said, I had to read that bit at least twice each and every time to figure out what they're trying to ask, and
Very good.
spot the keyword, eliminate two options down below, and then choose between the target and above target options. So that's how I managed to get through. So there
Okay.
was
Very,
a lot of reading, a lot of
mhm.
reading. Mhm.
Very
Okay.
good.
Yeah, please continue.
Mhm.
Okay. And about the from the simulator that we have about
Yes.
the PDF mocks, blue background question, you very clearly mentioned everything about the simulator mocks and the PDF mocks that we have, five mocks. How relevant were they in the in your case of the exam?
Highly relevant. Highly relevant to the point where it felt identical. Some of the questions were almost the same. Like, I remember that question. I think I mentioned it earlier, where there was the document in the program, and then you say business case, charter, roadmap, and
Mhm.
program management plan. That question was there. That very question. They moved the words around for us to
Mhm.
choose a good sequence, and then
Okay.
there were a lot of questions on KPIs. I don't know why, but there were a lot of question definition, what went into it, and a couple of agile questions,
Okay.
negotiation, collaboration, conflict resolution. If you a wide range of topics, a wide range of topic,
So it's
but
not only
this,
so if I summarize that it's not only from the five domains which I mentioned in the eco, which is strategic alignment, life cycle. It covers a lot of other things also, especially risk management. I think
yes,
conflict management,
yes,
teams, collaboration, agile.
yes,
So they are
yes,
trying a lot of complete scenarios. Right. This is what
that's
the feedback I got from other students also was. Is the same in your case?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like, there were like a combination of different topics, a
Hmm.
combination of different topics, and uh, basically it was all about figuring out the keywords and the phases. So the definition phase, delivery phase, closure phase, and then from that, when you have that clear map, and then you can kind of use the keyword to help yourself out. That's how I managed for the 4 hours.
Okay. And when you talk about the phases, the magic rate is relevant.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Very relevant. Basically, so we all in all, we have the blue background question, the PDF mocks, the green background question, and then the booklet, and the magic rate. So I'm trying to
Okay.
say your material is highly relevant and very useful. Highly
Okay.
relevant.
Okay. And
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
Amish.
What about the coaching calls? How important it is for everyone to attend the coaching call? How relevant are they?
The coaching calls had one thing I personally noticed when we were having the coaching call was like, Mrs. Sami would have a topic and then broaden the topic, talk about some other things. So if we're talking about governance, he always touching on some other topics on his side. So you basically get a lot of information in on other topics in one particular area. So I'm trying to say it's really, really useful because he instead of kind of reading the material on my own, on by ourselves, the explanation, the discussion in class help us also kind of have a wider understanding of what we're trying to learn to prepare for the exam. So the coaching calls are really, 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 really helpful.
Okay. So Mr. Sami has different type of background question, green background question, blue background question, right? And we are changing the colors as we are moving forward. I'm sure with your feedback, he will be adding some more background questions. So, what do you think, apart from the simulator, how
Yeah.
relevant those mocks are?
Mocks are really, really useful due to the fact that doing it over and over again, I can you kind of memorize most of the keywords and all the answers. So as soon as you see a combination of sentences or words, you know what you need to pick. So basically, I've done some of the exam at least 2 or 3 times.
Hmm.
So it kind of stays in the mind, and then as soon as you see a pattern, you kind of get to choose the right answer. So yeah, the mocks chapter wise, the simulator very 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 good. The green and the blue background question also. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, that is really great. Mr. Sami, please continue.
Yes, any question? If Mr. Serge wants to ask any question, you or Mr. Heman Zuhair, please ask. Mr. Serge?
No, no, no question. Thank you, Felician, for sharing this experience and congratulations again.
Okay, and from this whole perspective, I want to ask one question we never asked before. How important is it now to focus on the screen? Like we always never give the importance to selecting the center. We just blindly select it. But in your case, now we are seeing that it is very 2 or 3 times reading. So from my perspective, it should be now very important for all the students to at least visit the center one time if you have not experienced you have not the experience of taking any PMP or any other exam in the center. We should not blindly select the center because sometimes the centers are very noisy. Sometimes they are in the schools, college, education centers because they are not dedicated centers. So in your case, how would
Yes,
you
sir.
feel it is relevant as a advice while selecting the center?
Uh, Basically, as soon as we walk into the exam room, the gentleman was going to put me right next to the door. And I kind of realized there were going to be a lot of people coming in and going. I say I want the seat in the far corner.
Hmm.
So that was one thing. And then, of course, it was very noisy. You had about other people around, people coughing, sneezing. So I had to pick up a piece of a headset, just put it on my head so that I can kind of drown the noise in the background.
Hmm.
So to your point, is very, very important. And if you have to be in the screen reading to understand what is being asked and people making noise, it's pretty difficult to focus. You have to kind of drown all whatever is going on in the background to focus on your reading, and then you battling against time.
Hmm.
So you have undivided attention on your material in order to be able to get through the exam. So absolutely correct. Like you have to choose a good center that can kind of be an advantage, help into kind of doing the exam. So yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
A
Amir.
very important thing that I really love about the program, you can see I put the next program behind me. So how important the
Yeah,
follow-up system that we are having is for a person to continuously work into that way.
it is very important, sir, because uh, I mean, on field stating the obvious, it's a tough exam, and then the material is not always easy to grasp. So Mr. Sami kind of hedging us on, checking on us every 2 days, every day, encouraging, explaining, picking up call anytime is very, very useful. because it can feel lonely preparing for such an exam if you don't have the support. And then we have our community online and on WhatsApp where we ask questions and so on and so forth. So all this make it look like we are in a community, not alone. And then any question that we have may have an answer. So that is very, very, it's a plus actually. It's a big plus.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's yes, Haman, please go ahead.
Firstly, congratulations, Mr. Felician.
Thank you,
Well
sir.
done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed all your engagements in the calls, firstly. So thank you very much. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, when you were getting the questions,
Yeah,
were they like themed in a certain strategic area, or were they very random?
kind of
I don't know
random.
if you remember that.
Yeah, kind of random with a combination of topics. They're going to talk about agile here, and then negotiation over there, and then conflict random, which is why you
Okay.
have to kind of figure out what is being talked about. And then I have to read each question at least 2 times, and then go down to the options, eliminate two. And then as a matter of time, I have to choose the one of the two that are left because I'm sure it's going to be either on target or above target. So as soon as I get rid of the need improvement and below target, the rest becomes slightly easier. But to your question, it's kind of rather random.
Okay. And were there any, like, how many calculation-based questions were they, if you remember? Quite
In
a
my
lot, or?
exam, there weren't any. There wasn't
Okay.
any. But one thing that I have to mention, there were 2 or 3 questions where you have to choose 2 correct answers or 3 correct answers. So there were a few of these, but as for CBR or BCR, there were none of that. So
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
thank you,
Uh,
sir.
uh,
We'll
No,
go.
That's
We'll
a
go
fact.
soon.
only one thing, Mr. Felician, you
Yeah.
mentioned a few questions in which you had to select two options, right? Out of
Two
four.
or three, 2 or 3 options. Yeah.
Okay, out of 4 or 5 options.
No, because like they give, yes,
Okay.
4 or 5. So you choose 2 or 3. Yeah. There were a question like this. So
Mhm.
okay, okay, that's is great. Okay, putting the things into the context and
yeah.
working it out, what would you say the most important thing in the entire PGMP preparation was? The time you join that help you to
Mhm.
clear the exam.
Uh, let's say staying consistent, like uh, give you I told myself, and Mr. Sami was urging us on the fact that we have to have this thing completed by the new year. So I was redoing the practices almost every day, reporting back to him, having the feedback. So consistent and I'm gonna say that again. To a certain extent, repeat. If we finish a cycle, repeat it again, so that most of this material stays in the head, so that we don't have to think about it that much when we see a question on the exam. So, and then basically maybe a mock 1 or 2 times so that the score gets better. If you had 88%, maybe 90 or 92%, the next time get and then build the confidence and then kind of help the memory also for the material in order to go to the exam and remember and then pick the right answers and move on. So, yeah.
Mm. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
But how much important is it for
Yeah.
person to build a daily consistency? You see, I'm wearing that shirt, one is greater than zero, and that is the mantra of our organization that we need to continuously put
Yeah.
some effort instead of up and down or up and down. We believe
Yeah.
that daily putting effort will help you more. So how would
Mhm.
you put that in the context?
Because I mean, the material can seem dry and unusual. What I'm trying to say is it could be very easy to forget. So if we do it, I believe that if personally I was doing it over and over again so that I can have the memory to kind of remember in order not to forget and go to the exam and then perform. So consistency day after day. And I think Mr. Sami was saying at some point, 5 minutes a day is better than none. And as per your t-shirt, is greater than zero. So a tiny bit every day is better than nothing at all. So over time, each piece falls into place and then kind of help us achieve the score, the result that we're looking for.
Yeah, it's a continuous effort. It's a continuous
Correct.
effort that will keep working and keep moving into that direction. That is the most important thing into that. Thank you, Felician. Thank you very much. Mr. Samir, do you have any other question that you would like to ask?
No, for me, it's okay. Only one thing, like what advice you would like to give to the students who are getting enrolled. Like you, surely that is a keep on keeping the consistency. Don't think that I will take 1 week off and I will crack this exam. This is not possible. This is, maybe in some other exams is possible, but at least for PGMP for the last 2 months, 100% sure you cannot crack in last 1 or 2 days, at last 1 or 2 weeks. So as per your experience, as per you are a very senior professional, you have surely very tough time. Then you, in the meantime, you also traveled 1 week for your vacation. So how, what advice you will give to the students? You have seven batchmates also. You are the first one to clear from batch number 9. What will be your advice to them?
Uh, I would say uh, exactly like you said, no let up. Even, when I went to the UK, I had my materials with me because I didn't want to forget anything and have to start all over. So no let up, and then uh, no cramming, trying to understand as much as possible. And I would say the phases, uh, definition, delivery, and I mean the material, the booklet, the practice, about no let up, as exactly like you said, no 2 weeks. I'm gonna kind of do the work in it. So you say yourself 2 months, and then you want to do it in 2 months, a little bit every day until you reach the final line. So that would be the advice, the polite advice I would give anyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And this is
Thank
a
you,
message
sir.
that I want to give it to every single person who are preparing for PMP, that if he can do it, I am sure you can do it. Thank you very much. And let's keep moving forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Samir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
sir.
much,
Thank
Felicien.
you very
Thank
much,
you.
Congratulations.
Felician,
Thank you so
Haman,
much.